Today we're going to go over the 1968, the 1969, and the 1970 Cobra Jet engines. These are the 3 years that Ford made these engines. They're all in front of us here, plus this one display motor where I'll show some other interesting details. My name is Marcus Angel. I have a shop here in sunny and beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona, Angel Restorations. I have a website, angelrestorations.com, and I've been restoring first-generation Mustangs, 1965 to 1970. I have articles on the website that you can download and print. I hope that those are useful. And there is already a Cobra Jet engine detailing article, so I thought this would be a nice addition for that. I do think videos are much better than photos for different things, and for something like this, I think it'll be pretty useful to see some of these things in a more dynamic way than just a photo. The 3 cars that we have here, well, there's 2 cars here actually. These engines are going in tomorrow. This is our 68.5. This is our 69. The 68.5 is a Highland Green car, came out of Croswell, Michigan. The build date was around July 18th, 1968, so pretty late into the production year. The 69, this is our GT 500 that's going to get this Cobra Jet engine. This is also going tomorrow. This car was sold here in Scottsdale, Arizona. It was built February 7th of 69. Sold at Bill Watkins, which also called Paradise Ford. Those familiar with the area, Scottsdale Road and Camelback. There's a mall there now, but there used to be a dealership. Couldn't have been that many Shelbys sold, so I really like this car. Really happy that been connected with this and the owner. So this is going to be a great car when it's done. Then the third one, this engine here, this is for the ARI convertible. This is a really unique project. The engine will get shipped to Arkansas when it's done, where it's going to be assembled. The rest of the work in the car is being done out there. They only made a few of them. The only thing that's unusual on here is you're going to see this T-pan. The T-pan is unique to these. We copied from photos and at least one original, the dimensions. But otherwise, it's a 1970 Cobra Jet engine, so it'll serve us well for what we're doing here. This is our display motor here, and there's some details we'll show on that. So yeah, I appreciate everybody. I do hear from a lot of people every week, emails, phone calls, text messages. The best way to get me is email. I try to check those in the evening. There's people from so many different places. We have a great community, people that love these cars, and I am really happy that I'm involved in keeping it alive and sharing that information. So with that, I think we kind of laid out what we wanted to do. I do have some things we'll show here on the table as well that I think would be better to show than having them on the car installed. Some pretty interesting little tidbits. And with that, we will get started, and we'll work our way overall throughout the engines and show the differences. So probably the first and most basic thing on the Cobra Jet engines is identifying that it is actually a Cobra Jet engine. And in my article, I have more details on it, but I just wanted to show what you're looking for on the back of the block here. Typically what you see is this C type of character scratched in the back. There's a better one that you can see on this 68.5 engine here. Right there, that C. Call it a scratch mark. And that identifies it. The other thing, of course, is the date code. The date codes on all of these are going to be under here. So wherever you see the oil filter or the oil filter adapter, right there is going to be the date code. So you could figure out, does it make sense for the build that you have of the car? The heads, all of the heads are going to be the same. They have the ports for the thermactor system. And you can also see the engineering numbers on there. They're a N, C8OEN. A little bit hard to see in there, but you could maybe see it in that area. But the main thing is the heads have these. A lot of times people take this out and plug them, but the original Cobra Jets all had that. The other thing is the blue. So I have the formula for the blue in the article. How do I know that this is the right blue? Well, this right here is painted, this engine. This here is an NOS S-tube. See? And the color here, to me, is a dead-on match between this and this and this. This is from Ford. This was a service part. And if you step back, it blends in really nicely. So the color of the engine, the date code, and the C-scratch, you're off to a good start. The 68.5 air cleaner. On the early ones, this could be painted blue. At the beginning when they were making these, basically the same color as the engine. But I think that shows a little bit through the, see the cutout in the hood over here, and there's a scoop on there. You could see that. So eventually these were all black. So this being late for sure was black. These, interestingly enough, they are not secured. They're not mounted like a 69 and 70. This just lifts. There is no mounting that holds it in place, so it just kind of sits on there, settles in there like that. It has this seal then to the hood. You can see the vacuum motor. These are really easy to see. They have a date code on the front here that should match with the build of the engine. And the way that you want to detail this is that this is not painted black. So the flapper that you have there, the rod that goes through, the clips on the end, the vacuum motor itself here, the rivets, all this was done afterwards. So as an example, this here is typical, right? Where somebody's painted all of this black. You could look under here, and that would have been done afterwards, right there. So the 69 and 70 is the same. So this is a non-shaker air cleaner assembly. So it doesn't have the tabs. For the mid plate, the snorkels are going to be the same. If you look over here, you can see the shaker assembly, right? So you have this mid plate here, and then the studs that come up, which you could see better on this here. So this is the mid plate without the shaker. You have 1, 2, and 3. Now the important thing here is these are 3 holes in here. There is no slots. So a lot of these people have changed over the years. There's no slot. So going back again to this example, you do not want to see this. You don't want to see this on the side right here. All you want to see is 3 holes, and it's centered in there, and that's the way these Cobra Jet mid plates are, because there's different versions non-Cobra Jet as well. So you can see that. The scoop itself, the most common thing people do is they paint this, and then you can just sand these down so that you can see the metal underneath. These I individually paint. I think originally these were masked off and painted silver. For me, the best way when I'm doing it, as I'm using a paint pen and individually painting these, the result is pretty nice. It is pretty time consuming, but when it's done this way, it looks super, looks really good. Kind of a semi-gloss color, what you see right here. Not too flat, not too shiny. And then we have the service decal stickers on the side. This changes every year. So late 68, I have this one here. Then we go over to 69. That right there. And then the 70 is this one. And the exception for that would be the early 68s. They had, well, most of the 68s had this one. See, that doesn't have the element that's specified, the air cleaner element on there, just a basic Autolite sticker. And with that, you have these breather hoses here. These have date codes on them. So these are all dated. This one is August 26, 69 for the 70 build. And to give one other example, this one here, this is February 29th, 68. This is our July car. And they're all date codes, 68, 69, 70. The exception, again, is this one, pictures of original one that showed this engineering number, FOMOCO stamp. So I copied this and made a stamp for this. This is for somebody, this gets shipped out to Florida that has a KR that this is going to go on. So this and this here. So that covers the air cleaner assemblies. I'm going to take these off so that we can have a little bit more room and see what's underneath. Okay, air cleaner assemblies are still on, and for a good reason. There's two other things I wanted to show that I think are interesting and make it easier to spot than you'll see this on the engines. And it's the actual air cleaner assemblies, the base here. So if you look in this area on the back, this is a 69 before middle of February of 69. It's flat there. The 68 that we have here, same thing, flat back here. But then starting around the middle of February 1969, you see this here. This has changed. And then in 70, same thing. So 70 makes a lot of sense here because you have the throttle cable. The throttle cable and the bracket comes through. See the way this is? You need this space here to clear that. So that's what they did there. And related to that, I think I wanted to show, because the choke tubes here make some sense tied into the air cleaner. So the choke tubes, what I'm referring to is these tubes here. This goes up to the carburetor. We'll see this when the air cleaner assembly is off. 68, use that. Into 69, same thing. Up and through here. And then around February of 69, they changed it. And I just have this sitting here. So this choke tube now has an orange hose, and there's a connection on the bottom of the air cleaner that this attaches to. So this air cleaner assembly is unique for the second part of production in 1969, and that orange hose as well. So see, this choke tube would come up here like this, come into there. And then, of course, in 1970, there is none. You still have this here, but this is empty. There's nothing here. You know, in comparison, you see that right here. You have that. So that's the differences. I think that shows much better with the air cleaner assemblies off. And now we can take the air cleaner assemblies off.